Hi, Ruchi. Welcome to our podcast. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be the part of your podcast. It's really a wonderful experience for me to share my insight about the topic that I delivered today about AI and how it is. Answering to your question about me, my name is Ruchi Yadav. As you already mentioned, I have my PhD in electronics and communication engineering, and I work with a company called Avella AS. We basically work, it is an integration consultancy company. We work with the products from IBM and Microsoft Azure, delivering the best integration solutions that we can provide. We work currently with the customer like Tina, Skatetaten, Statkraft, Norwegian Defense. So this our one of our RKBP. These are the best clients that we have. And
Yeah,
apart
this
from that,
like the
yeah,
government was Skatetaten. These
yeah,
are really big.
yeah. The Skatetaten, the Norwegian tax, Tina, the biggest producer of milk and the dairy products, and Aker BP, the oil and the gas company, and Norwegian Defense. So we have like really good
How you
amount
was
of.
able to get that clients?
Yeah, I think it is really good like teamwork that we have. The people are really amazing. Everybody is very collaborative. What we really focus is on delivering the quality over the quantity. So even the agenda of the company is to have less than 50 people so that everybody knows each other, no matter how huge the company is going to grow. But the agenda we as the CEOs and the founders have is that, okay, we are not going to grow so large so that we one day don't know each other. It has to be interactive, and the people that we have, they come from a very diverse background, and they bring their own expertise to the table. So I think that is one of the reasons that why we were able to actually acquire really good clients with us for that matter. And it has been a wonderful journey. Apart from this, I also run a non-profit organization with the name called Geeta AS, and it is inspired by my mother. She has always been a businesswoman, and so like my grandmother, they have always been an inspiration for me. I have my roots from India, so of course, this traits is something that I've inherited from them. So it has been a wonderful experience. So in Geeta AS, what we do is we help the people. It is completely no voluntary basis. There is no paid system or anything. The people who are coming from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different ethnicities, and they find it difficult to adjust in, let's say, Norway or in Nordics, because they have a different culture here compared to how they have been exposed in their homeland country. We help them in whatever manner. So it could be very basic that they are finding it difficult to actually meet people from their community, to something that landing a job, getting their first contract. It has been last month that we there were like so many people we have. I don't want to quote the names, but they have been some of the women who have 10 plus year experience in their home country in IT. I mean, in rest of the field, still you can imagine, okay, that it depends on the market, on the customer and everything. But I think it's specifically in terms of IT, people use English, people know how to code, but still they are finding it very difficult to get the job here in Norway specifically, and even in other Nordic countries. So there has to be something that is missing for the people who still have the experience but unable to land the job. So it varies in all the aspects. In whatever help we can provide, there is a mentee mentor program, um, where actually what people do is that we, because of the contact that I was able to build over the time, and the people, we have amazing people on board who are they're available on voluntary basis. We just gather together and work on this thing. There are, if there is anybody who needs a mentor, who has been, let's say, a college spouse out, or somebody who is struggling to get into know, or maybe having a transitioning in their career, who want to go from non-IT background to an IT background, we help with all the services, so on and so forth. And apart from that, if there is anybody in need regarding to any funds, or they want to know about anything about to investment, they want to start their own small business, so there is all type of guidance that we actually provide in Gita. Yes.
How has your background in electronics engineering and epilepsy research shaped your approach to AI-driven product strategy?
It's a very interesting question, because that is how my background has been. I did my PhD in electronics and communication engineering, and even there, the things that I actually worked on was the combination of electronics, medical science, and IoT. So the topic that I worked on was on detection of epileptic seizure using wireless sensor networks and IoT. So it required a good generous amount of collaboration a good amount of knowledge to know everything. So it was about electronics and medical science, understanding how this disease happens. So even in today, when we have AI, when we have so many revolutionary things happening, but still we don't know the root cause, that why epilepsy actually happened. What is the reason behind that? It is something, is it hereditary, or is it something that happens due to your dietary things, or what medical reason could be the possible cause? The only prevention or the only solution that we have right now is to get an early detection, that okay, there is a possibility of you getting a seizure, and you just settle down at a place so that you are not getting the fatal incident. That could be a possibility, that could be a repercussion of it. So that is what my research was about,
So actually,
understanding.
it's like AI analyzes the data,
Yes.
and then it's find out with
Yeah.
this everything.
Everything, yes.
Yeah.
So it was mainly machine learning that I've used to train the models. And what we did was, because there is not huge amount of data that is available, there are many institutes in India, in Bangalore, who actually have actually collected a lot of data. But when I was doing my research, I really wanted real time patients who actually go through this. So there are different type of seizures that people actually encounter. Some of them are like focal seizures, they are like very rigorous. They some people get weekly, at least like thrice they get the seizures. But what the challenges that I actually had were, I did not get the patients, and the patients, because then you have to monitor them, and for monitoring you need to have the gadgets placed on them. And most of the people, they are not very happy to actually do that, because then it actually hurts their day-to-day life and day-to-day basis. But then luckily we were able to actually collect the data from over 3000 patients, though it is very less in terms when we talk about a sample sizing in research. But for epilepsy, there are this data was really huge even for the organization. And then I trained like the models, and right now the idea has been patented, and it will be there is a team who is working on that. And soon we are trying to actually get out the model in the market, because right now what watches or maybe any type of gadgets that we have in the market, the the reliability, the accuracy of the device is not very high. And what we claim to have the efficiency, that is around 98%, which is a lot. That means there is a very least possibility that you will may get a false positive when it comes to a seizure. And what do we mean by false positive is, every time it is going to trigger, there is a possibility of alarm. So it is not going to just give you a stress that okay, there is the alarm is ringing and you're not getting the symptoms. There is very least possibility of having the false positive in our product. And that is hope we are able to bring it out soon in the market. So that is how the AI has actually helped us in our product.
Yeah, interesting. As an IBM champion and Microsoft MVP, what key trends do you see in AI integration for enterprise solutions?
That's a very interesting question. I think in IBM, so these are the recognitions that I got last year, like being an IBM champion 2024 and 2025, and being the first time Microsoft MVP in this year 2025. I think the AI is somewhere being used every day. I think not only just every day in every company, but most of the people are actually not having the question nowadays that do we need to use AI. Instead, the question is, how do we use it? How do we use it in day-to-day basis? And even in the talk that I delivered today, I mentioned that earlier there were different kind of sales that people used to do. There was different category of go to market. It could be either by having the sales, by having the market led market, but now and then even traditional project led strategy. But nowadays, because people mostly rely on word of mouth, that people will use it first they will try the product, and then they actually want to decide. So it is very unusual to have a strategy when people are actually not getting the real time opportunity to use the product and then invest in that, or maybe having a transitioning journey from becoming user to the customer of the product. So I think this has really played a very significant role even today. And the claim that has been made recently is by 2032, the AI led market, especially, only I'm just talking only for the PLG, like the product led strategy, it is going to be over $14 billion, and that is a huge amount.
In how,
In
on all around the world, or you're
yeah,
talking about the Scandinavia?
I'm talking about like the world, in the world scale,
Yeah.
how the big the market is going to be. Because even like right now, even if you see like how ChatGPT initially started, it gave you unlimited attempts of how many questions you ask. But then when it comes to the advanced models of like ChatGPT O mini or 4.3, like the higher models, then you are having the restricted limit of attempts. So what happens is when the user sees that how beneficial it is and what kind of accuracy it has, then they actually convert from being a user to becoming a regular customer. And the same is even with the Claude code, that you see how professional it is working, and then when you believe in the product, you actually go. So be it IBM, be it Microsoft, or be it even like AWS, even they all use AI to actually collaborate with their product so that they can actually use it.
Yeah, the Microsoft is so pilot. Yeah, I
Yes,
think
Microsoft Copilot. Yeah,
this is the Copilot. This is the AI that they are brooding up.
moving.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Can you share a specific example of how you have used AI to drive disruption in a corporate setting at Avella?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. So we in Avella, we do not use AI directly, or maybe if we use, it is mostly in the form of Microsoft using Copilot, or maybe using the tool that is related to IBM. What we basically focus on is giving our proficiency, our expertise to the client so that they work. So what we do is, let's say even at Tina or Skatetate and Statcraft or any other Arcade BP, let's say, what we do is we find what integration problem they have and how. So it is in the form of a spaghetti that okay, everything is entangled, they don't know how to actually find the correct solution. If there is a duplication of data, or maybe they are having they are actually not understanding how the workflow is working. So what we basically do is we help them solve the whole problem in a way that it is more simplified, it is more robust, and then come up with those integration solutions. So we use IBM products like Cloud Pak for integration, and in that we use IBM ACE, that is and IBM API Connect, Event Streams, Kafka. And when we use this together, and then when we see okay, if there is a need of AI in that, or depending on how even the now, as I mentioned earlier, the companies nowadays don't ask the question that do we need to use AI. They just ask you like how do you collaborate it, how do you make it smart, and how do you make it smart enough that it actually detects everything. And one of the thing is that nowadays AI is solving the problem that it encounters the solution before actually the user is getting a problem, and that is the biggest benefit that all these companies get. So that is how we basically use AI in. We don't directly use it in Avella, but of course with the expertise and with the requirement of the company, how they need it, we provide the solution according to that.
How do you balance technical innovation with diversity, equity, and inclusion in your community work?
So for me, as I come from a very diverse background, I'm born and brought up in India, and initially when even I came to Norway, it was a difficult journey for me initially to get my first job, as well as the reason for that was I did my PhD in electronics and communication, and I moved here, and I wanted to switch to an IT background. So the obstacle for me was not just getting into the educational line, but I actually wanted to transit my career and
Into
during
business, yeah.
into business.
You've been
And
studying here in Norway, or you've been
no,
studying in
I
India?
did my complete education from India, so I did
Mhm.
not study anything from here. And then I
How
did
do you
not
think?
know.
Sorry for interruption, but how do you think the AI? How do they teach there but it was
Yeah,
engineering, but
yeah,
yes, maybe it's a bit different, but because in India there's a lot of experts, or I would say IT intelligence guy, that a lot of companies outsourcing
yes,
actually
yeah, yeah,
a lot of things to India. That's why
yeah.
I just was
Yeah.
curious about this. But yeah, so sorry for
Yeah, answering
interruption.
to that question, that's a very interesting question, because last week I have been to India last week, and that is where I got my fractured leg that I'm traveling with. So even in my college where I used to actually study, and the nearby colleges, I see that AI is in its boom. So earlier it was just like computer science and electronics and mechanical civil used to be the branches. Now AI has got such a position. Now it is a new branch. So I've seen the universities highly focusing on AI, and it is now considered to be a different field comparative to, let's say, electronics is a different field, computer science is a field, now AI is also a field. and that in itself is a really big deal. And even like nowadays when the discussions happen, how do we say, like let's say civil engineering, that is what a saying we have back in the Asian countries, or maybe I can speak for India, that civil engineering and mechanical engineering are more evergreen fields, because you're never going to run out of constructing a building and running out of making cars in any way.
Same as
And same,
FMCG, yeah.
yes, absolutely. And same goes for electronics and computer science. Computer science was somewhere assumed that it is going to be outdated in some span of time, and that has always been an assumption. But for our surprise, it is taking more diverse branches now. Like AI, it is now considered to be different from IT, especially with the claims. So I think you must have heard the news that Mark Zuckerberg 2 days ago has declared that in 18 months he's going to bring such a sort of a chat GPT or a Claude code that is going to actually work or deliver a code that is much superior in terms of how it is being written, that how today experts write. So I think that is
They just started their marketing campaign
yeah,
already, the Facebook, yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think that, but I think they will use that data because they have a lot of data on the
Yes,
Facebook,
yeah,
Instagram,
yeah,
and maybe they can bring much
Yeah.
more better product
Yeah.
than actually, as we're talking for the Grok, and I think, but
Yeah.
they can bring what the data that they have. It's brilliant. I think that's only the one the
Yeah.
data. YouTube have the nice data, and the Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram, they
Yeah. And even like in today, like YouTube and Instagram, like maybe for Instagram I can speak that they see that, for example, even right now they are using AI very heavily. So whenever you choose what you're opting for, or maybe they will just see. So for example, when I use Facebook, if I'm liking, let's say, the pictures of puppies or maybe like cats or something, they see.
If you just
And they
talking
just keep
to
up.
someone,
Yes.
you see about the
Yeah.
dogs of AI,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see tomorrow, today at the home, I'm gonna see
yes.
the AI
Absolutely.
advertisement. I don't know,
Yes.
because the people was telling about that there is like how it is
Yeah.
called, the idea that they are listening, but it
Listening,
was
yes.
proved when the Facebook said and Instagram they told no, we are not listening.
Yeah.
But how it works?
Yeah, exactly. And that is even for me like a surprise, that sometimes when we are having a discussion, even like let's say like just sitting with friends or something, and I'm discussing, okay, how is the
Exactly.
real estate works in Norway or something, and the next thing I see is my ads, they are exactly related to what I was discussing. And this is something like a presumption. And even like let's say they're not listening, if they are claiming to be that, but even when you see like on Facebook or on YouTube, it shows the choices that you would like to see. So for example, if I'm on Facebook or on Instagram, I'm seeing let's say a model from India, or maybe I'm seeing about learning about cars, then the next thing that I see, they see that how for how long I'm actually sticking to that particular portrait, or maybe on Instagram to a particular photo, or maybe what kind of profiles I'm liking. So of course they are using AI to actually train that, understand my choices. And what they're actually doing is something, just focusing on the user experience, just focusing, okay, what the user wants is delivered. And with the help of AI, we have such a power that earlier the salesperson used to do this job, understanding, sitting with one customer, or maybe I can just explain the sales funnel, how it used to be, that okay, you are interacting with the people, the persons, they go for lunch, dinner, they understand them, and then finally they actually shortlist one or two people they can actually do the business with. But now with the help of AI, we can provide that user experience to every person who is sitting at any corner of the world. So I think, of course, AI has done that miraculously.
What challenges do women in tech face in Norway, and how have you addressed these through your woman tech network role?
I think this is really important question. In
Because
general,
AI is like pretend to be more boys in
yes,
some way, like
yeah, it has been. I think this is one of the assumption that we have in the tech industry, that it is mostly men who are surrounded by this field, and it was the same case for me. Even when I was back working during my PhD, it was very rare to actually find a woman companion who is actually working on the project that is related to AI. It was mostly, and even with the collaborators that I used to work within the company, as I mentioned, that my project involved actually 3 different branches, being electronics, being medical neuroscience. For neuro, of course, I could get the doctors who are females, but when I was using the machine learning and deep learning models, of course, I could not. So now, of course, the time has changed. Now, when I went to the university, there were women, there are girls who are actually studying this, which is good to see. But answering to what the question that you asked, that how women in tech actually plays an important role, I think there are two things which are really missing. That is visibility and the voice. So visibility in terms of that you don't have role models. When I was doing it, I didn't have role models. So then you come with the question, will I be able to sustain? How am I going to interact? How am I going to take the for how I'm actually make this thing happen which I really want to dream of. So that visibility is somewhere really lacking, and the voice we don't have. Or maybe now we have decent amount of role models that we have. No matter if you see like this amazing conference that we have females participating and speaking, being vocal about the AI topics, and it was not the case maybe like 5 years ago. But now, of course, the things are changing, but still they are not sufficient. We need a decent amount of effort to be done in that area, so that it is so when we talk about women in tech, it doesn't needs to be that men versus women, but instead it has to be more that we need to bring more female role models, so that they are actually able to inspire the coming generation. And now we see the situation is changing, but of course it is not up to the mark. And yeah, I think the main two problems that what I personally feel is of visibility and voice. We don't need just the role models who are working. So even let's say for me, I just try to, when I was working into this area, when I was moving into IT, I have my husband, so he was already working in IT. So for me it was comparatively an easy journey. I had a role model in my home. He knew everything. I could ask him. But what for the women who don't have such an immediate guidance at their place? So then it is really important for the people, and maybe I can appeal it with your podcast, that those women who are actually working in the I2, please come forward. It is really important for the women who are from different countries, who are from different ethnicities, to actually come forward and help them and provide as much whatever guidance you can, maybe in terms of getting them a job, maybe in terms of what you do. Sometimes you feel okay, what we are doing is of like really really small compared to what is happening in the world, but just sharing that small amount of knowledge also means a lot. So I think that is really important.
Your certifications span IBM, Microsoft, and Software AG. How do you stay ahead in such a fast evolving tech landscape?
Yeah, that's a very. I think I'm really grateful. I would start with the gratitude that I have. So that is thanks to my company, that is Avella, who. That is one of the focus. That is one of the vision. What do we say? That we are heavily dependent on competency. We really focus on that, no matter what. So when we actually started to focus on this thing, we had this agenda that the expert that we are going to be, it is not going to be in turn in just of one technology, but the knowledge that we are going to bring to the table. And when we talk about this, it is really important to just walk parallel with what is happening in the market. It is really important to be updated what is being done, what is going to be coming in the future. So I think like precisely answering to that question, I think it is really good that we have such strong board who actually focuses that we need to develop the technical competency in the company. And like one of the benefit that we also get is that, for example, for certifications or for all the guiding materials, if I want to refer to any course, Avella pays for this. So this is one of the really good advantage what I feel, and should be implemented in all the companies irrespective. So for example, when I was working with IBM products, I did IBM certifications. My company paid all the cost, which really means a lot. And when I wanted to explore Azure, when we were not even dealing with those products, they were not hesitant to pay that. They were like, okay, if you are interested in learning about the technology, then why not? Because that is how you expand yourself, that is how you inspire your colleagues, and then you work unitedly. So I'm really grateful. I've got really amazing folks that work in the company who are very competitive, in of course in a very positive way, who try to deliver the best they can. So I think for that, especially, yeah, the special thanks of course goes to the company, because when you have this restriction that you cannot develop the technical competency and you have to put money from your own pocket or something, then you become be hesitant. You're like, okay, I'm working good, it is fine. You just try to again, one of the reason is you also go for the free courses. But of course, when you have this strong foundation, then it is comparatively easy. So even now I've started to look towards AWS products, Amazon products. So though we are not working directly with any client, because AWS doesn't has a huge market in Norway, though the case is different in case of Sweden and Finland, but still, and my company is more than happy to pay. They are like, okay, no, of course, if you want to learn about any technology, we are more than happy to sponsor it, because we know that you're going to bring that expertise in the company.
Yeah, the risks are taking company, so it's much more better for yourself.
First, yeah, absolutely.
And my last question will be, what role does a strong product strategy play in ensuring AI solutions deliver measurable business impact?
Yeah, I think the answer, again, it is very simple, that nowadays the companies, they are just focusing on how to actually use AI. But again, the people, I think they cannot get ever out of the picture, because what AI cannot guarantee you is that the business is going to run. So if you're starting a business and you think that you're using AI, machine learning, deep learning, or any of these technologies, and build a very world class product, but still it is not going to ensure you the guarantee that it brings along. And the reason for that is that do not get the answers for the question, like how, why, what is happening, when it is happening, of this sort. Why? Because this is directly, that is comes from the users. So when you want to travel your journey, when you're launching a project, when you're making your product led strategy, your PLG, it is really important to understand it from the core, that everything that you need or your product success heavily depends on the user experience. So it is really important to focus on the journey when you're launching your product, moving it into a get, like, use your trial, use the product for once, and then getting the retention back. So I think that, like, just to sum up for this question, there are two things that, of course, AI has assisted a lot with the PLG, and it is going to do. There is a huge market. There, the prediction is until 2032, but of course it is going to happen before time. Now when we wake up, when we sleep at night, and when we wake up next morning, you see so many advancement, you see so many technologies. So it is moving with that leaps and bounds. So of course this is going to happen very rapid than the prediction that has happened. And of course it is never going to replace a human, because what human can do is actually find the questions for why, how, when, and this, and actually embody the user experience. So if this is not going to happen, of course, so yeah, I think it really plays a very, very, very predominant role in that, and it is exciting at the same time, maybe a bit haunting as well, that how, what actually AI can do. But of course, in terms of seeing positive prospects, I think AI with PLG really is something that I'm really personally looking forward to, that how it is actually going to go, and how it is going to take over the whole market.
Thank you very much for your
Yeah.
open explanation of the things that you do, and more deeper we go into the AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. It's an absolutely my pleasure to be to be part of this. And if one thing I could request to the audience, if you may allow so, is that especially women, of course it is for both the genders, but especially for women, it is the need of the hour to have more role models, so that the coming generation can actually learn. And no matter what you do, please come forward, please share your views, please share your knowledge, be active on the social media handles, not just for creating your own brand, but actually to inspire the people. You never know whom you're inspiring by just once scrolling by your post or something. Yeah, just be caring, be cheerful,
be yourself. And all the links on the LinkedIn we will just drop below the video. Thank you.
Thank you so much.